Good evening and welcome to the Lynx Tennis Courts. We have a great game in store for you guys tonight against the Lewis Central Titans. But first, I'd like to acknowledge our star player of tonight's game, Chris Wales. First, we'll learn about who is supporting him up at the stands, what he likes to do on and off the court, and his plans and goals for the future. Now let's begin and start the first serve. The game starts at 0-0, which is the starting point called love. Speaking of love, up at the stands tonight, we are joined by Chris's family and friends. First, we have his parents, Marlene and Jason, his two older brothers, Nick and Mike, and his grandparents, Ginny and Lanny. His grandfather, Lanny, inspires him to be the best and pushes him to be hardworking. We are also joined by Chris's friends. First, we have Braden, Clayton, and Ty. But this family wouldn't be complete without the two golden doodles, Macy and Sadie. As Chris swings his racket and makes the first point, that makes the score 15-love. Before we begin the next part of the game, tonight's sponsor is Pizza Counter. This business is family owned and operated by Chris's family. They are known for having great pizzas, spaghetti, and salads. Next, let's swing right into Chris's hobbies and interests of his life. Since Chris has been playing tennis all 3 years of high school, he spends most of his time on the tennis courts with fellow teammate Ty James and boys tennis coach Myron Wilder. Even though Chris is on the tennis courts of AL, he does play baseball. Off of the courts, you can find Chris reading books, preferably a finance genre, High Probability Trading by Marcel Link. After all that practicing and reading, you can also catch Chris at Qdoba ordering his usual chicken burrito with pinto beans, brown rice, queso, peppers, and guacamole. This also makes this, as the ball goes over the net and hits his opponent's court, this makes the score 30-love. But lastly, in this final round, Chris has to make some big decisions. These big decisions may have Chris sweating, not only because of the pressure of the game, but also because he is undecided on what college he wants to attend. But he is only a junior, and he plans to stay in the Midwest for college. But as he swings his racket, he is sure of one thing. He plans to continue his tennis career in college and major in finance. And he hopes to take his education to become an investment analyst. And as Chris looks more into the future, he sees himself in 20 years, possibly living in Iowa, having a few kids, and being retired young from an investment analyst. Now that this game has ended, Chris has won and made the score 40-love. Tonight's game, we learned about Chris's family and friends and his supporters on his stands, and we know that he will have no faults. We also learned what he likes to do on and off the court, which contains his fun-loving life. We also know his plans and goals for the future, which means that he plans to stay in the Midwest for college and also major in finance. Let's give it up for Chris, and let's go Lynx.